at that point, you're not there to play it safe. Like if you're not taking risks, you're not competing.
It's empowering. I mean, anybody who's done a CrossFit workout, you finish your CrossFit workout and you're like, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like a hunger for competition and like that super intense structure, routine. I still had that desire.
Listen to the way people feel and the motivations for doing the things that they did. It was like they were describing me to a T.
I'm not trying to solve everything for you, but I know that sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Learned the most is how to fill my cup by filling others.
Welcome to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. Join me as I talk with passionate people about their life's failures and successes, and most importantly, what keeps them hungry for more. What up, dogs? Welcome back to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. I took a little break from podcasting, so I almost forgot how to do that there, but we're back. We're joined by Jenna. Jenna, how do I say your last name? I looked it up. Hold on, let me guess real quick. Is it Jenna Laudermilch or Mitch?
Milk.
Okay.
Milk. Yeah.
So
I guess there's a lot of different
twice.
ways you can say it. Listen, I can't claim that name. It's my marriage name.
Oh, okay. Don't throw your husband under the bus. But there we go. So
I went from Italian to German like that.
What was your maiden name?
Palumbo.
That's not like super easier to pronounce, but anyway, So we got that down. Jenna, you are the co-owner of CrossFit Hershey. You're a CrossFit coach, and you do another like retail business on the side, right?
Yep. Friend of mine, one of my best friends and I started a women's fashion boutique before we owned CrossFit, and before COVID. And we're 3 years in and having a good time.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So let's start like right now today. What's your schedule look like on a Friday as a CrossFit coach, CrossFit Box affiliate owner?
So Fridays are actually pretty laid back, mainly because my kids don't go to school Fridays. So they're at my mom's. Yeah. I don't have to rush out of the gym, which is nice. Fridays, in terms of coaching, I'm coaching the 9 a.m. Usually try to get there about 8:30. And then we have open gym after that until typically we close around noon, but we do have some stragglers that'll hang out and do whatever. So like I said, Friday's pretty laid back after the 9 a.m. class.
Is the open gym like officially on your schedule, or is that just like coaches are there so people know?
Yeah, it's officially on my schedule a couple times a week. Just because I have the flexibility right now to do it. A couple times a week. So
do you guys have a midday class, like at 12 o'clock?
No, we play around with the thought of that. We had that in the past. We only did it twice a week. This was before we owned it, and it took off for a little bit. And then I think like during the summer months is when it sort of started to like kind of like fall to the wayside a little bit, where they'd have like one or two people in class. It just didn't make sense. But we kind of go back and forth. We just added a 6:30 class, not this past September, this September.
PM or AM?
AM.
Oh,
our morning crew is, we have a 5:15 class. I feel
like that morning crew's thick. I feel like I see a lot of people on the Insta.
Yeah. We usually have close to 20, sometimes more depending on. Yeah. So 6:30 kind of pulled some people from 5:15 that don't have to be at work until like 9.
Yeah.
And then we have a 9 a.m. class, which is what I coach the most of. That's usually all my moms that are either like nurses that have like a rotating schedule or from home. It ends up being a girl party half the time, which is super fun. So
we have that. It's usually split. Like we'll get like 3 days of all the moms, and then like 2 of the days there's like a dad or two or like a young guy that's off that day and he comes into the 9:30, just switch up a little bit there. But yeah, that's awesome. What were you like growing up, dude? Did you play sports? Have you always been this kind of sporty person?
Always. I am
What's your go-to sport
on both sides of the family. I'm the only girl. So I didn't have a choice.
What was your go-to sport? What was your first one?
I started playing soccer first. And then my dad I don't want to say he pushed softball on me, but I think deep down he wanted me to go with softball. He was a big baseball player. My uncle was a big baseball player. I, by accident, fell into basketball. It's kind of a funny story behind that. I have an older brother that's 5 years older than me. And my mom used to take step class at the Y every Saturday, like the different colorful steps, headbands, all that fun stuff.
With little 5-pound dumbbells.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like this stuff. Yeah. And when she would leave me home with my brother, we would just do nothing but fight. like bad. He would beat me up, not like me, but like sit on me and like
regular sibling stuff.
Yes, it was awful.
My brother's 7 years older than me, so he did the same exact thing to me.
You get it then. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I guess I can, that's kind of how I figured out like how to fight back, which was a good thing later in life, I guess.
Yeah.
But she, you know, by accident just started taking me to the Y with her because she couldn't leave me home with him. After I would get bored of sitting in the class watching her, she brought me to the gymnasium where they were playing basketball. They had a class and she's like, here, go. And that's
just threw you in the court. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, 18 years later, like ended up playing pretty competitively year round with AAU. I did play soccer and volleyball on and off, but that was just more for fun.
Yeah.
I was pretty serious about basketball. So yeah.
Did you grow up out in the area that you live in now, out in Hershey?
No, I grew up in Hazleton.
Okay. Like how different is that than where you live now?
Like it was like culture shock moving here in a good way. In a good way.
So which side of the spectrum is each place on? So Hazleton, is that the quiet place or the louder places? Is Hershey the quieter place or the louder place? Which one?
Hazleton is wild. Yeah, insane, different. It got to be a little dangerous in the last couple of years. We'll say that. You know, it's kind of sad to go back and look at it now. Like it's a nice hub for people to come and stay. They're 80 and 81 kind of meet in the valley there. So there's kind of some drug issues now. And yeah, my parents actually moved down here. It'll be 3 years in June. They got out too. A lot of people have moved out. Some people have stayed, but a lot of people have moved out. So yeah, living here is wild. Like I keep my keys in my car everywhere I go.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's funny though. So you went to the quieter route, right?
Yes.
So you're playing basketball. Like, when do you first feel like you start to like really love it? You know, because you just got thrown onto the court. Like, when did you like, oh, I want to play this on a team and stuff?
So our Y always had a program, I guess for guys and girls, that we would compete against other YMCAs. And I guess it was like, I'm trying to think how it went, because I think we had to like qualify. My parents would know like the whole ordeal. I think we started like practicing, and then we got a coach that was really into it and started finding us tournaments to play in. And, you know, we were pretty good for little old Hazleton team, you know. We ended up traveling to like Albany, New York, Siena College. I actually have this sweatshirt. I had it on in class the other day. I was like, guys, I wore this when I was in 6th grade. And it like still fits me.
That's funny.
She just started finding us like tournaments, and we would travel, and we ended up going to Siena College for a big tournament and beat Camp Curtin, who they would tower over. Oh my God, I could remember, like, I was this little tiny pipsqueak of a thing. And we played for 3 days straight. I think that was probably the game changer for me, is having like that organized sports, and like just having like all of my friends were on my team. So it just made it that much more fun. I think that's what really, I was like, okay, I want to do this. Like, I want to keep going with this.
Do you like
when AAU came in and stuff?
Do you consider yourself like a competitive person? Did you like feel that fire start to go like back then?
100%. Yeah.
Start to get fired up to like go compete.
Yeah. I think at that point is when we might have had a basketball hoop outside the house before that. But, you know, games of horse and pig with my brother and my dad started, and who's beating who. And my uncle was both uncles were really good at basketball. So my grandmother had a hoop outside of her house. You know, it'd be Easter. I'd have my little dress on playing knockout with the boys. Like,
now that's dope.
Dress that I fought to have to even wear. I was such a tomboy, but you know what? Whatever.
Did that, like, I don't know, ever make you feel any kind of way, or were you just super secure in being a tomboy?
I was fine with it because I was surrounded by boys all the time. And I did have my girlfriends. I took ballet for 15 years of my life.
Yeah. Cause I mean, girls play sports, you know, like it's not like a new thing.
No. Oh my gosh. No, I was torn between, I liked I liked girly things. But I loved sports. I loved playing sports. I guess I started ballet before I even played basketball. And once I turned 15, I had to make a decision, obviously. So dance stopped for me. But no, I mean, I guess I never really thought of it that way because it was so normal to me. Even in my neighborhood, I had kids that were the same age as me that were all boys. They had younger sisters.
Right.
But not young, not old enough that I would play with. So I was just surrounded by boys and it was just whatever.
All the neighborhood kids, man. Those days were just insane. So we're around the same age, right? We're like in the same generation. I have a question for you. Which movie do you like better? Heavyweights or the original Mighty Ducks?
Oh, original Mighty Ducks.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. Heavyweights is a championship movie.
I know. But I loved Mighty Ducks. That was like, oh my God, I have to show Carter that. My son is all into like those classic movies.
Has he watched a lot of the kids, because I work with like teenagers and kids, stuff like that. They're like, they got into those movies because they watched the new show on Disney Plus.
I don't think he watched that. No.
Oh man, it's all right. The first season has Emilio Estevez in it, but the next two don't.
I feel like I might have watched one.
What, the season or
yeah, the season, because I loved Mighty Ducks. Me and my cousin. I had a cousin that for the most part, I mean, like I said, I was the only girl and I'm pretty much the youngest. The only cousin younger than me is only 3 months younger than me. So thing. He and I grew up together.
Yeah.
And my grandmother would always get us those movies. And I remember watching them with him. That was a good movie. I gotta watch that now.
Dude, I'm telling you though, Heavyweights is a sleeper classic, but Mighty Ducks is great. Which one do you think is the best one though, between 1, 2, and 3?
I honestly can't even remember what happens in which one.
So one is they're obviously the OG one where they're all kids, like just like essentially in the hood, and the dude gets assigned to coach them because he gets a DUI. 2 is the one where they go to college. And they play for they're like the B team for this prep school, and I
don't remember that. I know I saw them all.
Yeah, and then 3, I think there's a third, and I think that they're like in the Olympic trials, something like that.
I think, yeah, I remember that one.
That's the timeline. So like the first 2 have the like OG kids and they add to people, and then the third one has some like new people.
I think I like the OG one. I remember liking the part where they were trying to teach them how to stop with the soda cans.
That was good. So the only thing is that like when you get older, in the first one they're kids, and the second and third they're like at least college kind of age. Yeah. So it's easier to relate to them, So yeah, I can kind of see a little argument for both sides,
Yeah.
But so
I want to say that movie sparked our interest to go ice skating all the time. We used to go ice skating constantly.
It did for a lot of kids. A lot of people that were like my age, like played hockey, like secretly when I was in high school. I was like, damn, I didn't even know high schools had hockey teams.
We didn't at that point. There's a lot of roller hockey. I think they might be were club teams at the time. And some people still have club teams around here.
My high school had a hockey team, and like they played at this like local rink, and they had like big games, like people would go out to it, but it was like literally just an excuse for like the older kids to like go drink and go to the game. Like
what high school did you go to?
Hatboro Horsham in Horsham, PA. That's like just outside of Abington.
Hazleton used to come down there for the boys. Used to come down to Hatboro for a tournament every year.
Probably for like the bigger sports like wrestling, basketball, things that like you played more games and played bigger schools. Because for football, like the division's small, it's going to be like the teams within like 40 minutes, Yeah. But yeah, so back in those days, it made hockey like and all those other sports big, hockey, wrestling, stuff like that. The Olympic level sports. So you decide on basketball, right? And like, how does your career in that go? Like you play through high school? Do you go into college and play?
Yep. So, funny story. Okay. So the girls that I started playing with at the Y when I was 4th grade, 3rd grade, I think I was like 5 when I started to play. And then we started to get serious around 5th and 6th grade. And by serious, I mean like those traveling tournaments and whatever.
Yeah.
All the girls that were on our team played together since we were 4th and 5th grade.
Get all the way through high
school. Yeah. When we got to 9th grade, we had the option of playing 9th grade ball because, Hazleton's district is huge. It still is. It was even when I was there. So we had a middle school team, 7th and 8th grade. And then there were 4 ninth. Well, no, the boys had 4 ninth grade teams. The girls had 2, I think. We got the opportunity to skip over playing freshman basketball and go right to JV. So we had 6 of us that played from the time we were 4th and 5th grade together and got to kind of grow up together through high school.
That's crazy.
So we ended up being pretty good. If we were, I guess that's for argument's sake. Anything out of our conference, and people would play man, we were terrible. We would kill a zone because we were all shooters. But that was a lot of fun. I always say, if I could go back and play basketball in high school or college, what would it be? And I think it'd be high school.
What position did you play in high school?
I was a 2.
Okay.
Depending on what year we're talking, I would sometimes take over point where our point guard would go out for breaks and stuff. But for the most part, I was the shooter.
How tall was the tallest girl on your team?
Oh, geez.
How tall was the 5?
Kim or Amy? Amy was over 6. 6'1". Kim was right around 6. Amy, our tallest girl, she was a couple of years younger than us, so she didn't get to play with us. So she was in 9th grade, but she ended up being a long jumper at, I forget what college she went to.
Oof.
Yeah, like track. She ran track. She was crazy with
Did you ever do track in high school?
I tried, and I was terrible.
Track's a different kind of sport, man. Like I threw shot put all throughout high school. It's just like you go out to that field and like everyone's off in their corner doing their thing, and like it's supposed to be a team sport. It's different. It's for a different kind of like athlete,
Yeah, I didn't love it. Coach was great. The people were great. I just
it's cool.
Didn't click with the sport at all.
Yeah. What events did you try to do?
I guess I was just a sprinter and I was not good.
So like the 1 and the 2, probably. Like if you could make it, there's like really cool things like shot put was all right. Discus is cool. Javelin's super dope. If you can like really stick through it and learn how to actually throw it, or like triple jump and high jump, like you said, that's like some pure athletic output, So like if you got it and you can stick through it, that stuff's really cool. But it's definitely a different kind of sport,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The running part of it too. I think I only did it. And obviously this sounds kind of selfish, but I wanted to get better and faster. So that's what was my thought, like for basketball.
Yeah, like an off-season type thing. Yeah, because that's most of the bigger sports, like the big 3: soccer, basketball, football. Like that's like the off-season for them. That's when football starts like running outside and stuff.
Yeah.
So people use that track just to get back in shape.
I mean, I guess I almost picked up lacrosse in college, but other than that.
Oh, in college, that'd be an aggressive time to pick it up. Did you like exercise as part of your sport back in the day? Like even when you played college ball, did you work out?
I did. And looking at what we do now and how structured it is, I had no idea what I was doing, but I tried. During high school, we played a lot of pickup during the summer. Did
you guys have any like strength coaches during high school? Like were you guys at the gym at all?
Didn't. It was like before that even like came about, and we had a weight room, but the weight room was always packed with football players and it wasn't big. So like you didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. My mom was, like I said, my mom would go to the Y constantly. My dad was there a lot too with racquetball and different things. So I would just go with them, and our Y was filled with machines. So like I knew how to lift in that regard, but not anything close to like free weights.
Yeah. So you didn't have anybody to like show you really how to approach exercise and training and lifting and stuff like that?
Nope, not really.
When was the first time you think you had someone around to like really kind of introduce you to like more advanced things, or like even beginner type things, I guess I should say?
Probably my freshman year of college. We would go as a team to our weight room. And I remember bench pressing 75 pounds for the first time. And it was like the biggest thing ever.
Yes.
And we did a lot of plyometrics, and so I remember a lot of squatting, but a lot of it was running too. Like there wasn't a ton of strength training in our programming. It was a lot of, I mean, I guess it was, but it was a lot of isolated movements, not necessarily like Metcons or anything.
Right.
But I remember getting like a packet every summer, and it had, you kept track of what you did every day. And it was literally a page. Like you did it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like,
One of those type things.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably yeah, like a template, basic template
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
for like,
I mean, and I loved doing
exercise.
it, but I really didn't know a ton about, like, I don't ever remember doing cleans.
yeah. It's like a back and forth thing. You never know. Like sometimes you have like really good full collegiate like lifting program, strength and conditioning, and sometimes it's just not great. I was lucky enough that in high school, like the way that I got introduced to CrossFit was Barry Widener, the owner of CrossFit Generation. He came in, he was our strength and conditioning coach
Oh,
for
that's cool.
my whole term in high school, and he's still the coach there. Like,
Could you imagine
kids
if
could get
every
that
high
young.
school, if somehow there, could be grants made where high schools can purchase CrossFit equipment and have a gym teacher go and get their cert, and like that'd be pretty awesome for the sport.
Well, something like that is the goal, right? Like every school in the country would be really hard, but the new CEO talks about wanting to like 5x the membership of CrossFit by like 2025 and 2026. So they want to do stuff like that. And the way to get that many people is to start going into schools, businesses, and all those places. Like you can't just have a gym on every corner,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's too many different gyms out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in your collegiate,
that is kind of
private schools are untapped source, right? Because then like you could really get the funds, you could really get the grants and stuff.
Yeah.
But in your collegiate career, like what are your most memorable games, like seasons or anything like that?
Oh, in college, I mean, we had our token teams that were our big rivals that you knew were like a big game. I could remember going to DeSales University. Their gym was this, it looked kind of like a barn, like maybe not a barn. It was very tiny. It was small. Like the whole atmosphere, the floor was fine, but like, I want to say the bleachers might have only been like 12 deep. Like it wasn't a big gym. And it was such a shooter's gym. That was like one of my favorite places to play.
Was it loud in there though?
It was.
Like
oh my God. Yeah. And Saturdays we'd have double headers with the boys. So we would play first and they would play second. And it was just, I don't think they do that anymore, which sucks. Cause it was so much fun doing it that way.
Yeah. Wait, you would play second or they would play second?
They played second. We would play first. And
our school did that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So much fun.
It was a good way to get people in the stands for the girls game too.
Yeah. I guess my most memorable is probably our tip-off tournament. Every year we'd go to Marymount University and like the bus rides and just staying in hotels with your friends. Not many parents would come. And if they did, they would be staying like somewhere else. Do you remember the singer? Is it Ray J?
Yes, I remember Ray J.
I forget what song we met him like outside of because we used to stay in Tyson's Corner, like right outside of DC.
Yeah.
So our parents would come, but then they would like take a train into DC and like go hang out for the day. And we're like, what the hell? Like you didn't even, they would come to our games and then they would go and do their own thing. Like it was such a fun weekend. And then of course playoff
season, playoff basketball, man, I think is the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
Like, are you a Sixers fan? Oh my God.
Listen, if I'm going to pick an NBA team, it's going to be the Sixers.
You said probably first, but
I did say probably. It's going to be the Sixers. They're, hometown, like it's close.
Yeah.
I am like one of those people that like different players, but I also don't love professional sports either. Okay. Like give me NCAA all day long. I just don't.
I can feel that. I can get down with that. God,
I do have to take Carter to a
Sixers game.
It's
really exciting for young fans right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're good and all the players are like good and they're all good teammates and stuff, but so like you're a muscular girl, like you got the tank top on right now, got like nice biceps. Were you always like that? Were you like a sporty and muscular looking girl when you were younger, like high school and college too?
Yeah.
And were you like always comfortable like that? Just like you're comfortable being a tomboy?
No.
No?
No.
How was that? Do you like ever remember a time where someone like pointed it out to you and you were like, oh shit, like I guess you're right?
I honestly can thankfully say I don't think anyone ever really pointed it out.
You just kind of recognized it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like to refer to myself as thick, and then people who are thick are like, you're not fucking thick. Like, but
you're not accepted in the community.
Tiny.
That's fucked up. I think everyone should be. Anyone that self-describes as that should be allowed into the club. Wow.
Yeah,
we can't gatekeep.
Thick guy saves lives, right?
Yeah.
No, I was always like, I don't know if you know anything about like sizing gene wise. In high school, I was always like that 6 or 8. Like I always had bigger legs, which I attribute to like taking dance for 15 years.
Right.
And playing sports for 15 years. Soccer didn't help, you know? It made me uncomfortable for years. I think more so after college, more so when I started settling into like who I am as a person before I found CrossFit.
Post-athlete kind of days.
Yeah. Like I remember just when I moved down here, I moved to Hershey in like 2011 for a teaching job.
Yeah.
And I got obsessive with running because I was like, that's the only way I can be skinny. It's the only way I can be skinny. I don't want muscle. Like, and then I found CrossFit.
So how did that happen? How'd you find CrossFit? Like, were you exercising after college, in between the time? What did you do?
So I took to running big time when I was here, mainly because if you ever come down to CrossFit Hershey and WOD with me.
Don't try to call me out like that.
You'll see it's a pretty low key area. So like running is easy. LVC, I lived like pretty much right 2-3 blocks from LVC's campus, Lebanon Valley College. So I would just run up there and just like run their campus. And it was easy to me. It was accessible. I didn't know many people, so I didn't know what gym to join. I want to say, was there a Y here? No, I didn't do that. I don't think I did that. And I had a long-time boyfriend at that time who didn't live here. He lived in the Scranton area, and he had started CrossFit up in, it's not NEPA. It's another one up there. I forget the name of it. And
you were like in the gym, and then like you knew about gym stuff after that.
Yeah, like I was used to working out, you know, and he had tried CrossFit, and he said to me, you have to try it. You'll love it. And I was like, all right. And I looked it up, and there was one right down the street pretty much.
Right.
And they had an onboarding, like our orientation, which we still do. The owner did it with me. It was Tim Steele at the time. And I fell in love. And May 1st, I think, was my 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's a long time. I think I'm on year 8 right now. Like sometimes I get lost in the numbers and stuff like that. Yeah. You know. So you fell in love. You fell in love right away. Right away.
Because it was challenging, and I think it filled the void of not having that organized sport anymore. And it was like. Right. I wanted to see what my body can do. Like I wanted to see how much could I squat? Can I put that weight over my head? Why can't I pull myself up on this bar? Like it was just like one thing after another that I got up. No, I don't want to say obsessed, because it's obviously a good obsession. I was just so interested in seeing how far I can push the envelope. Till I.
CrossFit's definitely a cult. I mean, it's just a good cult, you know.
I like to argue with people that say it's a cult, but it is 100% a cult.
It's completely fine, you know. It's a great cult, you know. Like good things happen inside of it. Like CrossFit HQ and the games and shit may have stuff going on, but like affiliates are good, you know. Like whether it's like I've been in some affiliates that have like bad coaching, but it's the purpose and the intent there is all still good, you know. So like from the bottom to the top, it's all a good thing. So it's whatever you can call it a cult. Doesn't really matter. People that like to work out 4 hours a day. I mean, it's like whatever. But so in the very beginning, what do you feel like you struggled with in CrossFit, and what do you feel like you were like kind of good at right from the beginning?
I had some good strength right from the beginning. And definitely like coordination. I remember the cleans coming very easy to me. Since playing volleyball and just sports my whole life, I had some shoulder issues, so I hated snatching. And gymnastics was awful. Like I couldn't do a pull-up, strict. kipping, nothing. I couldn't do a toes to bar. I don't even remember before I couldn't do toes to bar though. Like I don't remember what I used to do. So maybe I could do those, but like, you know, like singles or something.
Yeah.
I remember getting handstand push-ups fairly quickly, kipping, not strict. And I love being upside down. So I remember right away, like loving the fact that like handstand walks were a thing.
Right.
I still love handstands, you know, every day. I just didn't.
Yeah. Did you post your video today yet?
I did, because Richard was in last week and I had done my handstand and he was like, we had a quick conversation. Like I held it for almost like 20 seconds. And I said to him, like, I can't hold longer, but I have much more control.
Yeah.
And
you feel better when you kick up.
Yeah. And he flies home and then he videoed himself turning. And I was like, okay, you calling me out?
Right.
So then today I was working on turning. So he responded. He's like,
I did see that. That video was from today. Yeah. I saw that.
So now today I was like, oh shit, I turned both ways. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
I was working on turning today.
I know. I saw that he posted that he was coming home last weekend, but it was my mom's birthday. I was like, fuck. Like it's not really feasible that I would be able to, you know, either make my way out there, you know? So speaking of the Brawl in the Burbs, what was the first CrossFit competition you ever did?
It was at CrossFit NEPA.
It
was a team competition.
When was this in your timeline?
Probably within the first 2 years. I started in May. I remember just joining and the open was like kind of being talked about. I missed open of 2013. Yeah. And then after we did open 2014, I believe it was like that June, we did a competition at NEPA. And that's like kind of where I grew up. That's where my college is. So it was fun to go back and like,
what's that, like the Williamsport area?
Yeah, like I knew a lot of people that went there. Our athletic trainer from Kings was there. So like I got to link up with people that I haven't seen in years. So it was really fun.
I got a couple of friends from NEPA. There it's what's the owner's name? Brendan. Brendan, that's what it is. Brendan Morton. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He hosts a lot of comps.
Yeah.
They got a big space.
They have a big space. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that day we ended up going back for another one a couple years later.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first RX competition I ever did.
Oh, that's dope.
A couple years later.
So what do you like better? I feel like I already know the answer to this. It's most people's answer. Do you like an individual comp or a team comp, partner comp?
Yeah.
Team partner.
I like the team. I mean, even partner's fine. Yeah. But like we had such a blast at Brawl in the Burbs last year. We're working on we need a third male and we'll be there.
Third male? What do you mean?
A second male. Sorry. We have 3 people. Yeah. It's Adrian and I. We have one other person we stole from another team within our gym. Yeah. Some people are switching to like scaled. Some people are going to RX. So we're trying to figure that out, but hopefully we have a good showing again this year.
There you go. Last year you guys had the most amount of teams. Don't you guys have 7 teams signed up? Something crazy.
We have 8.
That's crazy. I remember it like in the beginning of the morning, there was like a 15-minute time span where I was just only saying good morning to people from CrossFit Hershey, you know, when you guys were all checking in. We had
such a blast. Like it was such a well-run event. Like I know everybody that went last year wants to go back this year. So I think we're working on getting everybody.
And this could be the Brawl in the Burb segment. This year, I think should run even smoother. I got the first 2 workouts out. Should be a great, easy schedule. And I could release workout 3 right now. I'll let you know what it is. I'll give you an insider tip. So because I'm going to drop it probably before this episode actually comes out. So workout 3, I'm going to have all 4 partners working out at the same time. And like with a 4-person team comp, that's always what I'm looking to do, you know, like maximize the work effort. Mm-hmm. So workout 3 for time, 30 synchro front squats, 1 male female pair will be on a barbell. The way it's going to be 125 for the ladies, 185 for the guys. 1 male and female pair will be on a kettlebell. That's going to be 70 and 53. Single kettlebell, front squats, squat in a line. After that, 30 toes to bar. No, 60 toes to bar. Sorry, split up however you want. And then 30 front squats. And then 60 chest to bar, 30 front squats, 60 bar muscle ups with a 12-minute time cap. So in this, we have all 4 people squatted at the same time, making everybody work. And then also we have our higher level gymnastics progression, and like not all the partners have to do it, you know, some RX teams have a couple people that aren't great at everything. Yeah. So we'll test the gymnastics, but give people a little bit of room if they have like one super gymnast person, you know?
Right.
So that's workout 3. So there's going to be,
I like it.
I think 6 scores in total, because we have workout 1, our overhead squat ladder.
Yep.
Workout 2 is going to be the 3-score workout with the handstand push-up, hang clean, AMRAP, plus max calories row, max calories bike. And then our the one I just said with the front squats. And then last, but everyone's favorite, the tire flip is coming back.
Same tire.
Same tire. Yes.
All right.
So
No,
everybody,
I was gonna say, is it getting heavier? Jeez. No, that was pretty fun.
The tire is like this like urban legend that like no one knows exactly how heavy it is, you know. So you go back and forth with like it's heavy as shit, right? It's like a disastrous event, you know. I tell everyone, I put it in the emails and stuff, like make sure you bring a change of clothes.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get dirty.
Yeah. You look pretty badass though when you get dirty. I don't even change. I didn't have shorts on though because I wanted to be able to use my knee. I didn't want it to slip.
So you had pants on?
Yeah, I wore pants for that one. And then I might have changed after we were done, but we ended up not changing. We did it before the last event, I think.
Yeah. And then I did it with shorts on one time. I remember having this gnarly burn like across my knee because it's like super hot out there too. But it's fun. It's a fun event. So if you guys are listening out there, get signed up for the Ball and the Burbs, get your 4-person teams. Yeah. Speaking of competitions, you guys have the Mayhem Classic. Is that what it's called coming up?
How's that Massacre.
Going? Yeah. Mayhem Massacre.
Through again faster.
Nice.
So
how has it been planning that? Like you still have to do things on the back end and get people signed up and promote.
I know you and I talked about this last year, getting our first competition, like kind of off the ground. I kind of wanted to see planning wise, like I wanted to work with the company first to see if we could do it on our own.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it does all fall on me. Our other owners have my husband and my business partner, Melissa and Jason. They all have primary jobs. So the gym, a lot of that event stuff falls on me, which is totally fine. But I just want to make sure I kind of have my, I's dotted and T's crossed. So I feel like looking at how they promoted and how they launched things, we can definitely do it on our own for sure.
Yeah. Feeling confident? Well, when is it? I know is it coming up in like 2 weeks?
Yeah. May 20th. So not this weekend, next weekend. Yeah.
Sweet.
And, we tried to pick WODs that kind of, I don't want to say like favored our gym, but it's our first competition. And I knew
a lot of in-house people.
I knew we were going to get home, like people from our home gym.
Yeah.
So then outside. So my goal for this is just to run smoothly. We have people from 717 come in. I think we have a couple from Ephrata come in. There's some others from other gyms. I'm trying to think. I think we have quite a few from 717 come in. So my goal is to, run a smooth event and stay within that time frame and be, really good with communication, and hopefully people enjoy it and come back because we are going to do it annually.
Hell yeah. Those are great goals. Like I didn't even know to have those as goals for my first event. It was kind of just like rip the Band-Aid off, and then I learned from that one.
Yeah.
So that's great that you have that foresight like that. So you were just talking about it, like being co-owners there. How did that journey and timeline go to going from just CrossFitter to affiliate owner?
So without saying too much, because there's quite a story with that stuff too. Our previous owners had opened up a gym in York, York Fit. They ended up moving their family to York, and Hershey kind of just got to be too much for them. Kate, the wife, Tim and Kate were the previous owners. Kate would drive up from York. At this time, I think she was pregnant. It just got to be too much for them. And they talked about selling a couple times once or twice prior to this. And I think them living, York, if you know anything about us in York, it's a good hour.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're going, and we're in an area that's kind of difficult to hire like a manager. It's not like we're next to a big, like it's difficult. So that was kind of out for her. I think she definitely looked at that, but I think getting it off of her plate entirely, because I think at this point, Kate was just running it. It just made sense for her to just let it go. So she spoke to Brian, always used to poke fun. My husband used to poke fun at Tim. Like, if you're ever selling, you let me know. And she had approached us before it was really, public knowledge, if you're interested, let me know. And we just kind of started talking numbers. And at first it was just going to be Brian and I. And the idea was, I was a teacher before having Carter, and I wasn't going to go back. And this would be my career now. And that's, that was the goal.
So you were pregnant at the time?
No,
Like
I already had Carter.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Carter. I could have gone back. I took a whole year off, and I could have gone back after that. So it was like planning your life after, Yeah. That was the first conversation. And then it kind of subsided for a little bit, and she hung on a little bit longer, and then we ended up pregnant with Briggs, and then COVID hit. And then it was like, okay, she wanted to sell. I can remember driving home from South Carolina and her texting me and saying, yeah, let's do this. So we got a little more serious in the conversation. We started talking, numbers. And at the time, Melissa and Jason, who are married, Melissa was actually in our wedding. So she's a very close friend of ours. She didn't want to take it over at that time. She felt like, I don't know, it wouldn't have made sense for 4 people. And then I think coming to her senses, thank God, she said, I want to be a part of saving this gym, because honestly, if we wouldn't have bought it, it would be no longer.
Kind of went by the wayside. Yeah.
Yeah. And last minute, she kind of called Brian and was like, let's do this together. And we're like, done. It'll be much easier. Everything won't be on Jenna. So it definitely helps with having 4 people, because we all have our roles.
Right.
I end up kind of by default being the face of it, because I'm the person that's answering the phone, answering the emails, just because I can and I have the time to do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, we all have our roles in making it work and stuff. So I don't want to say we saved the gym, but we kind of saved the gym, because if we didn't buy it, it probably would have turned into a Globo gym, and it wouldn't be CrossFit anymore. So.
I see that happen to a lot of gyms around here. So I know what you're talking about. People franchise and buy other gyms and then grow their membership through that, but so that's awesome. That's an awesome journey there. What's something that, since you started CrossFit as a former athlete, your whole life, that you've learned since being a CrossFit athlete? How has that changed your approach to being competitive or just the way you exercise and anything like that?
That's a good question. I will say that CrossFit changed my entire mentality in the gym and out of the gym. I was always half glass empty.
Yeah.
I was always the pessimist. I was always worst case scenario. I was always, I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for that. I didn't like the way I looked. I wasn't a size 2, there were so many things that I would just beat myself up over. And CrossFit taught me how to not only love myself, but be appreciative of what my body can do. And now I'm learning how to pour that back into other people.
That's awesome.
So I think what I've learned the most is how to fill my cup by filling others' cup.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I actually just had this conversation with Richard. He and I are going to start, he's going to start a strength cycle for me on Monday. So I'm not going to be doing Metcons for 3 months. I just want to get stronger, and for no reason. I'm not going anywhere in the sport, and I know that.
It's just that time,
But I know I could be lifting more. My technique has gotten so much better, but I also
wait. Actually, hold on. I was just co-signing what you were saying. But you and Adrian say that to me all the time. But I see you guys lift weights. You act like you're not strong. You guys cleared the ladder at the brawl, and that shit. I wrote that shit to be heavy last year.
That was fun.
Yeah, I was about to ride with you. I appreciate the strength cycle, but you guys are both strong. I'm not gonna let you just get that.
Yeah, no, we are. I feel like I've worked so hard the last year to be better in my technique and my form, and now it's time to go. I want to add. But another thing, what kind of fuels that fire? We have a lot of moms at our gym, new moms. Moms to be, moms that are, girls that are trying to be moms, and they look at me and it's you have 2 kids and you can do all this stuff. That makes me want to work harder. And I literally just said this to Rich, I just got the chills. We have a girl right now that's she has a little one, and she's I don't know if I want to. And I'm you could do this if you want to. I'm a perfect example. So I feel I thrive off of knowing that I'm helping other people through the same thing that I went through when I started.
It's insane, man. I look at my week to week, and you are so intimately involved with people's lives, like all the time. Because when you really do it a lot, like people, they text you, you have like they are like involved with what you do. You're involved with what they do. You know different parts of their lives. They tell you a lot of things. Like, I know that you work with a lot of people there. Do you do any personal training at the gym now?
So I'm starting to have people trickle in to ask me to asking me to help with supplemental stuff to,
as you get like more knowledge, people want that to share that with you. Did you ever have like that kind of phase before you got into CrossFit where you like aspired to coach or personal train, or did like CrossFit bring that to you?
No, CrossFit brought that to me.
That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's because I know how before we took over, our programming was written by our previous owner. There wasn't a lot of like teaching. There wasn't a lot of, I want you to break this down and start here and progress to this. There was and there wasn't. Like it's hard to explain. And then we took over and we started really focusing on like, I always teach, like, I want you to take that one step to progression. Today we did toes to rings.
Yeah.
If you can't do 10, I want you to do 6. I want you to do 8. I want you to pick a number that you can hang on to, because we're always taking that step to progression. So like, that's how I teach. And I feel like now that's starting to come out and it's starting to attract people that are like, okay, I want to be better at toes to bar. How can I do that? Well, let's do it. So like, I never thought of this as a career until I was in it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Just everybody, I love when people take like a little screwball way to go do things, Yeah. It's always fun to, just like you said with the lifting thing, it's always fun to just take life in seasons, And this is what I'm doing now. All right. So let's divert back to what the episode is really about right now. Tell me, when did you get on the Harry Potter train? What was it that made you read book 1?
For this. Okay. Let me say, it was probably November, around Thanksgiving.
That's the perfect time. That's great.
My oldest son, he's 5. He watched The Sorcerer's Stone at my parents'. He watched it with my dad, I think.
Nice.
And came home and put it on. I was like, what are you watching? He said, Harry Potter. And I'm watching like bits and pieces of it. And I'm thinking, I actually think I kind of like this. So I sat down like a couple nights later with him and we watched the whole thing from start to finish. And I know all my, what's that?
You watched the first one, Sorcerer's Stone? The
first one. Yeah. That's the only movie I watched before reading a book. And that's what kind of started it. So all of my friends, we have this chat group going with a bunch of the girls from the gym. And I know they all watched it and read it. And I said, like, I'm kind of digging Harry Potter. Well, their uncle, here he is, their uncle.
Hey.
I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Yes. That's the
Our
best.
Uncle Ethan got us the books for Christmas. So I started reading The Sorcerer's Stone on, I think it was New Year's Eve. And I finished book 7 2 weeks ago. Like I couldn't put it down.
Yeah. Dude, what's your favorite book? What's your favorite book or movie?
The 5th.
The 5th one?
The 5th one. Is that Order of the Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yes, Spider-Man.
I also have I have a Spider-Man like soft, like stuffy, and I also have like a little hard one that my mom got me.
That's so awesome, dude. I was just watching Spider-Man this morning. It's great.
He was 2.
Yeah, it's great. I was watching the first one. Homecoming. I watched that one.
You guys talking about Harry Potter?
We were, yeah. I was telling him how we got into it. I'm almost done though. Go ahead, go sit.
Okay.
You finished, so you've just finished the 7th book. Perfect.
Yeah.
So now that you've wrapped them all up, what is your favorite book?
I'm gonna get some pencils now.
So I would read a book and I'd watch a movie.
Oh, you did it like that?
Yeah. Because I wanted to see how it connected. I can tell you my least favorite movie. Let me think about this. My least favorite movie was probably the 3rd, because I felt like they could have done that so much better.
Different. Yeah.
It was so different than the book.
Well, it was transitioning from a children's book to like a little bit more mature. So they kind of messed it up.
I guess my favorite book, I don't know. I really loved the last one. I really loved Deathly Hallows, but
they wrapped it up well.
Only thing, I hated that they weren't at Hogwarts. I was like grieving that I hate that you're not at Hogwarts.
But throughout the book,
Yeah, they were like on the run.
that's like the point though, that they've like
I
matured
know.
and they're like out of Hogwarts and they have to like, there's nowhere safe left.
I
You
know.
know, it got deep, it got scary. You know,
It did. It
like
did.
from the fourth book on, it was kind of like real deep.
Even the third though, like we watched a little bit of that, and the Dementors are a little.
Yeah, they're sketchy, but like after the scene in the graveyard in Goblet of Fire, the point is that there's like less safe spaces out there.
Yeah.
In the books, and then like Dumbledore dies, and it's like takes away that there's like nowhere safe left. You like Harry, you have to go fix this. There's no more running. You have to go fix this problem.
Go fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because the girls that are in this group, some of them have watched all the movies like as they came out, and some of them read the books and saw the movies. So like things would happen in the book, and I would text the group like, "Oh my God, Snape, seriously?" And they're all like, "You are like 20 years late." I'm like,
literally, that's funny. Like, what's his name? Alan Rickman. He passed like a few years ago, and he's like people's hero. And you're like just getting on who Snape is. That's great.
I know.
That's hilarious. So, like I was saying earlier, my grandma gifted me those books. Like the last one, I remember the day that I got Deathly Hallows. Like you might skim through the pages just a little bit because it's like a brand new book. Like at least that's what I would do. I'd read the back first, and by accident, I like dropped the book and it opened up to like the back three quarters. Not Deathly Hallows because he dies in the other one. The one about Snape. What's it called? Half-Blood Prince. I got that one, and that was from my grandma. And I dropped the book, and it like fell open to like a random page of the back three quarters, and it's when Dumbledore dies. And I'm like, no. Like I got that spoiled for me. I was like, whatever, just go back to the beginning. You know, act like you don't know that yet.
No, wait. How did
Dumbledore?
No, I remember that. Was it? So wait, it was Order of the Phoenix, and then it was Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, that's book 6.
I'm trying to think. One of them I literally Googled because I'm like, I need to know what happens. It wasn't Snape killing Dumbledore though. It might have been Order of the Phoenix. Because that book was a little slower in the beginning, and then it picked up in the last like 10 chapters.
Yeah, because the progression is in book 4 at the very end, Voldemort comes back. Book 5, he's back, but in secret. He's got Groot back there in the background.
He's taking pretzels. He's like,
in book 6, he's out like in the open, and in book 7, they're on the run. You know.
Yeah.
So book 5 is a little bit slower because he's still at Hogwarts. You know.
Yeah, that might have been the one. I was like, I need to know what happens, and I Googled and I ruined it on myself. But I had to know.
Yeah, that one was tough.
I could remember like being in high school and like being at the movie theater and all these people being dressed up and thinking, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, this is so weird. And I think that's honestly what turned me off to it. Cause I was like, too cool for that. And I just never got into it. And then I remember Richard mentioning stuff about Harry Potter. I'm like, you're seriously a Harry Potter fan? Are you kidding me?
Dude, it was great growing up, but the thing was you had to like get into it as like a children's book, and at the end of the first one, they beat the bad guy by playing a game of chess, and that was cool when I was 10 years old or whatever. Yeah. But I don't really watch that movie. When I rewatch, if I put that one on, I'll like speed through it, put it on in the background. I don't really watch
That's what I've been doing.
Sorcerer's Stone for that one. Chamber, I like a little bit better, but it's not like my favorite one either. Around book 3, Azkaban is when I start getting more into it in my adult life.
The whole story in that book was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's a good one.
It would hurt me when they killed Sirius, man.
Yeah, I know.
It was so sad. I was sadder for that than Dumbledore. I was like, all right, whatever, next page,
Yeah.
I didn't really care. So in your opinion, after finishing it all, who is the better wizard between Harry and Ron? Is this like a...
Carter, can you turn that down, please? We're watching Bluey now.
Like who could... I don't know, dude. I feel like Harry is just like everyone's like default favorite, but like Ron's like creative with the spells. He messed up once or twice when he broke his wand and stuff like that. I feel like he's a better natural wizard than Harry. Harry got like 2 spells.
I never looked at it like that.
Harry cast 2 spells. That's I was just reading something about Harry Potter the other day when they do the Harry Potter clones in Order of the Phoenix when he's leaving his place and they're all in the brooms and stuff like that. The reason he gets caught is because he cast the fucking expelling armor.
His signature. No, I remember that. Yeah, you're right.
That's all he knows. So,
I mean, but look at what he taught. Like, he taught everybody in Dumbledore's army. He taught everybody how to do Patronus, and like
he taught them that one spell.
I guess. I look at Ron as being like
but Ron's so slept on.
I kind of look at Ron as being like, I don't know, like not goofy, but kind of goofy.
That's how they portrayed him in the movies for sure. In the books, he's definitely a lot better.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But he might not be better than Harry. That might be a stretch. But Ron's definitely not to be slept on,
I totally agree.
He was needed in the trio. All right, but back to CrossFit now. So we talked about like what you learned as a CrossFit athlete. What about since being an affiliate owner and like you guys went to the games last year to spectate? Like what did like that teach you and show you about the CrossFit community?
That it's all about the community.
Yeah,
honestly. And I think we as owners do a really good job of that. I'm trying to think back to like we don't have a lot of turnover in our members, mainly because when you're in it with us. I think becoming an owner kind of taught me how to I don't know. That's a hard question. I guess like I end up being a therapist to a lot of people and not CrossFit related a lot of times. Yeah. And I think it's taught me how to have a much more open mindset for people and an accepting kind of, not that I wasn't before, because as a teacher, you have to be that way. But I feel like owning a gym with people that are, all across the board, ages, shapes, sizes, athletic abilities, like everybody is so different. And being able to differentiate what you're doing to different people has taught me how to be patient, how to talk people off a ledge. I had to do that today. Of just like kind of taking it easy on yourself, like, I don't know. I guess that's a hard question.
I know it's hard to like look at it when you're still in it,
I've definitely been more open to. Let me back up. When we took over, we said that our members were going to have a voice. It wasn't going to be like our way or no way. And I think we do a really good job of that. So when I say open, I mean like I am totally cool with people making suggestions and then us like actually making it happen.
Right.
That's definitely one thing I would say. I don't do anything that's like dictator in my life. I'm very type B. Like I go with the flow. And I feel like that kind of comes out as an owner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have become a therapist to a lot of people. And I'm not complaining about that. It is what it is. I'm sure as a member, I was there too at some point. You're like
a sounding board for a lot of people. And I like relate to that. Do you still have like other people that you can go to be that for you?
Yes, I do.
You have like venting processes.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, so the girl that I run Shop 29 with is my best friend. She comes to the gym a lot and well, I shouldn't say a lot. After having her second, she's there maybe once or twice a week, not as much as she used to be, just because this season she's in. But a lot of times, like, she knows what's going on at the gym and I use her to vent a lot. I have another girl, she's our nutritionist at the gym. I'm like, I don't need you to fix it. I just need to vent for a second. I do have some people I can definitely bounce things off of and just sort of get out frustrations. But we go back to that whole like CrossFit changed my mentality. Like aside from like little stupid things, I don't really get frustrated anymore. Like
that's good.
I don't know.
The gym is like a lot of people's like decompress zone and it's like their happy place and stuff like that. Now that you own it and work there, has that changed at all for you, or are you still able to like have that be your happy place and your place that you can unwind?
100%. Probably more so now than ever. there was a time when we weren't the owners, there was a time that you'd walk in there and you wouldn't know the vibe. Are we
That's the worst.
Today? Are we happy today? Are we going to get yelled at for dumb things today? Like things like that.
Yeah.
It was bad. It turned a lot of people off. And now it's not really like that. We also have dogs at our gym most of the time.
Hey.
Right next to me. She's like a therapy dog. She's there every day with me. So having her, I get to bring her to work. I would think if I'm having a really crap day, the first place I want to go is to the gym.
That's
and
awesome.
Not even really to work out. Like sometimes I just go over at night and like when I can get there and like sit and talk to people.
Yeah. People can feel that, that like goes through osmosis. It soaks through like when you talk to people, when you high five them, when they're just around you, that could be like the culture that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Dude, actually I have the same bracelet on right now. Can you see?
Yeah.
There we go. Mine's like
from Greece.
My friend is Greek and she brought me this from Greece too. Both bracelets that I have on my wrist. It's like coming apart now though, but she's going back in July. So she's going to get me another one.
No, I need another one. Brian and I went to Greece in 2016. It's been on my wrist ever since.
I think that's my next like big travel place that I want to go to. I think that we're going to try to go to in 2024.
Do it. We stayed in, I think people pronounce it as Oya, but I think they say Iya. We stayed in Iya. The very tips of the sunsets were amazing. Oh my God, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the trip next year. Try to get out of the country a little bit more.
Yeah, that too.
That's so what's your next read? What's your next big thing that you're going to tackle franchise? Have you ever seen Star Wars, any of the movies?
Oh my God, that was like a conversation we had the other day. I don't know. I have. I can't get into it. Carter went through a phase, I guess, last year that he liked Star Wars, but then it's a little too much. It's a little over his head right now.
Yeah, there's only a little bit of young kid stuff right now. A lot of the content they're putting out is more adult stuff right now.
I think once he's into that, I'll get into it.
Yeah.
We're big into Marvel right now. Like Marvel stuff.
You guys go see the new Guardians?
Nope, not yet. We're working through some. Well, there's like 45 Marvel movies though, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot.
And they all like have connections.
There's like 14 years or 16 years of movies at this point now. 2008, that's when the first one came out. So whatever that math is.
Oh, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
That's a good one. So they're all a little different. That's what I was going to say about Star Wars from Harry Potter. Harry Potter and Star Wars, I love both of them. I might like Star Wars a little bit more because I'm a little bit more nerdy, but it's definitely a little bit different than like Harry Potter. Like Luke Skywalker and Harry aren't the same kind of hero. They both are like plucky or orphan kind of vibes, but but they're a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't know. Lord of the Rings might be the next. Although, did you read The Cursed Child or see? I know they're talking about a movie.
I did. Have you not read that one yet?
I'm in the middle of it right now.
It's good. It's a little different. It's like written as a play and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. But
a couple acts to get over that part of it.
Yeah, it's a little slow, and then it gets a little slow at the end. But it's all right. Book in the middle. Yeah. It's a little weird. I wouldn't want to see a movie. They're making a show about it, and I'm not really sold on that. Like,
if they're making a movie, I wish the same actors were in it.
Well, they're doing a. You know what they could do? They should do a show about them like later on, not redo the movies and get like. But I don't think they can get the same actors. I think they're done with it. I mean, they're rich; they don't need Harry Potter money anymore. So I don't know.
But I mean, tough. Man,
it's great. It's whatever. As long as I have the original 8 movies, I'm fine.
That's true. I finished the book. And we're like this close to booking a trip to Universal, not for your sake, for my sake, but me and Richard are gonna go and hopefully meet Richard there in October.
That's awesome.
Have you been to Hogwarts yet?
I've not. No, people keep telling me about it too. And there's like a Harry Potter, like, I don't know, festival or something like that in New York right now, I think.
Really?
And I think me and Julia, my girlfriend, are going to go to it. There's some kind of Harry Potter exhibit or something like that out there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That up for myself, obviously.
I think it's good. I love it. I love Harry Potter. I haven't read the books in a long, long time. So it's been like really fun to watch you read along them.
You have been probably like the 10th person that has said that.
Yeah.
Like a girl I used to coach basketball with messaged me and was like, what book are you on? Like, because I would like post a little here and there of like the pic, I was reading the book to Marley the one night and everybody was commenting on that. Yeah, it's funny to see all the adults coming out of the woodwork. Like,
it's great.
I did that like 15 years ago. You're going through it now. I'm like, yeah. And they're like,
it's another great cult, just like we talked about with CrossFit. Another great
100%. 100%.
All right, Jenna, this has been a great episode. At the end of the episodes, I ask all the guests one last question. I'll ask you right now. What are you the most hungry for? Like, what are you passionate about? Like, what are your goals right now?
Growing our gym. More members. Spread the love to more people in the area for sure. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. So we'll go with that. I mean, there's a list for sure.
Right.
But I would definitely say growing our members for sure.
What kind of classes and programs do you guys have over there? You guys have the classic CrossFit class? Do you have like a teens program, masters, anything like that?
So we're working on a teen program. We have masters right now that actually happens in class. So we haven't really branched out and made that its own class just yet. You kind of go back and forth talking about like 65 and over for like older people, that just need help getting stronger, things like that. We have a coach right now that has older parents that she's really trying to work with them on just staying healthy and being able to move for their grandkids and for her too. So we talk about that a lot. We just launched CrossFit Kids that has taken off.
That's awesome.
That's the class we're probably going to have to split into kids and then teens. Cause we've morphed them all together. Cause at first we didn't have the numbers for both. But I think we'll probably take a break a little bit in the summer just because crazy schedules are nuts in the summer. We put together a camp like we did last year for those kids, like 3-4 days of like, I think we did it for 4 hours last year. Super fun. And then come September, I'm hoping we can split that into CrossFit Kids, teens. I'd love to get Oli back on the schedule. We do that typically like once a month, but I'd like that to be a little more often. So we've been kind of on the hunt for somebody in-house. I have my mind on a few of our members that have their L1, but also have their weightlifting cert that we might try to see if we can get a class out of them. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, and just like expanding our class times too. I'd like to add an afternoon.
How many classes do you guys have on the schedule right now?
We do 6 a day. 6 a day. Well, I shouldn't say that. We have 6 CrossFit classes a day. We also do Fit for Life, which is essentially CrossFit, just minus the Olympic lifting. So ladies in there do a lot of EMOMs and a lot of AMRAPs. With instead of barbells, they'll use like kettlebells and dumbbells, but they have the option of using barbells if they want. A lot of people think that program is easier, and it is not. They work just as hard, if not harder. Right. So I guess with those, I mean, we have that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those days there's 7, sometimes 8 if we're having CrossFit Kids. So it ranges from like 6 to 8 classes a day, depending on the day. So we don't do it every. So
that's awesome.
We're getting there. We're growing, but we're getting there. It's funny. We've been open since 2010. And there's still people in this area that don't realize we have a CrossFit gym.
Yeah. It's so funny to me to think about too. Like, I mean, CrossFit King of Prussia is a big gym. And I mean, it means a lot to me and a lot of people in the CrossFit space. Mm-hmm. And then you could like drive past in Bridgeport. And if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, you know, that it was there. But like, it's so big in one world, but someone could drive by and have no idea what's going on in there, you know?
Now, KOP was one of the first affiliates, right? Or no? Did I get that wrong?
On the East Coast.
On the East Coast. Sure.
Yeah. Most of our members live like 15 to 20 minutes away, you know? In all the surrounding areas. And that's how it is for a lot of CrossFit gyms. So I'm trying to figure out how to get the people that live a block away, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
It is a slow climb. I feel like we're also in a spot where we get a lot of people that are coming to the area for fellowships or married to somebody coming into the area for fellowships at the med center. So we might only have them for a year or two. So like that plays a toll. Like
we get a ton
turnover
of those too.
For us. I don't want to say the turnover is low, but it isn't, and it isn't. Like most of the time when we lose people, it's because of that. Like, you know, they're here for med school and then they leave or they, you know, relocating or a job takes them away, you know, something like that. But
Yeah.
Like we get 5, we lose 3. So it's like back and forth. But
the game you're always going to play as an affiliate owner and, coach and stuff like that,
absolutely.
Because people chase fitness all over the place too. So, but Jenna, this has been a great episode. Love to talk about all the CrossFit stuff. CrossFit and Harry Potter, man. That's all in a day's work. What more can you ask for?
Those are my favorite 2 topics. It's great.
Yeah. And Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. We got the dogs going on with that. That's one thing the KOP doesn't have right now. For a long time, it was like a big gym that had a lot of dogs. Like not a lot of people bring their dogs to work out anymore.
No.
And we have, I won't blow a spot up. We have one coach that doesn't like dogs, and that's the only one. Everyone else loves them. He doesn't coach that much. So I don't know. I don't know where the people are at right now.
All of our coaches are dog people. We have I can think of 2 members that I shouldn't say they don't like dogs. They just don't care to ever have one.
Yeah.
Sense.
Yeah.
Dogs that come to the gym typically are either Marley and then Melissa's dogs that she has Vizsla's. And honestly, they don't bother anybody. Marley, as soon as the music goes up, she goes and lays under the whiteboard. She doesn't even move. So used to it. Wilma's the same way. She just lays in her little perch and she's just hangs out. So
that's funny.
Yeah, we got to get you guys up. You and Lauren, whoever else wants to come.
Hell yeah. Well, I got some time throughout the summer here, dude. We'll definitely get something on the books there. Drive out to Hershey.
Sounds good.
I'd like to get some training sessions on now that all the brawl workouts are out, have people work out that are plan on doing it,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a fun time,
We'll figure something out for sure.
All right, dogs. This has been another great episode. Go check out Jenna and all the things they got going on over at CrossFit Hershey. Jenna, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.